All right. So what I'm trying to say is this: P and Q are just the individual statements, and the individual statements have a combination of possibilities, right? The statement can either be true or it can be what? False. All right. So what I'm saying is, if you think about it, these are all the possible outcomes for that situation. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? P and Q can both be true. The first one can be true. The second one can be false. The first one can be false. The second one can be true, or they both can be false. Those are all the possible outcomes. Everybody with me on that? All right. So now that you understand that, all right, that's just the possible combinations. All right. Now, when we have a negation, we talked about this. All right. If I say not P, then if it was true, it becomes what? False, right? If it's false, it becomes what? So now what everybody's supposed to do is everybody's supposed to look at this column right here. And why is that a false? Right, because you're looking at the P column over here and changing its value from true to what? Come on, guys, I'm telling you, it's really easy. It looks really complicated. All right, it looks really complicated. All right, but it's quite easy. All right, now, why is this one false? Because the true corresponding one was true. And then, of course, you can see they changed to what? Trues. Is everybody with me on that? That's how simple that is. All right. Now, we have what's referred to as a conjunction. Remember what I told you? This is an and, right? In order for a conjunction to be true, what must be true? Both have to be true. Both have to be true. So I'm looking at P and Q. True, true. So that would be what? True. True and a false gives me a what? False, true. False, false. Look how easy that is. Everybody seeing how simple? Right? Now, the disjunction is the what statement? The or statement. And to me, all of this made sense. All right. So I didn't have a problem with this. All right. So this is your or statement. And a statement is, if you have an or statement, it's true if what? One or both are true. And to me, that made sense also, right? Some of you are arguing with me over it, and I can understand your arguments, all right? But something is true if one of the statements is true or both of them are true, okay? So you just look. This is true because what? Because they're both true. True, false. False, true. However, false, false. False. Look, is everybody agree? That's easy. All right. I don't understand that. All right. Now, this is the one we were talking about, right? That was weird. Like, again, I don't fully understand the logic. To me, it just doesn't make sense. If you start out, and listen to me, if you start out with a false statement, then it's automatically what? It's automatically true, right? Regardless of what's said over here. And that's what I'm trying to show you. All right, regardless of what's said over there. All right, so I noticed that. All right. And then if P is true, then Q is true, right? Hopefully that makes sense. That was logical to me, right? If this is true, then what follows must be true. That's what a conditional statement actually means. That made sense to me. That's true. All right. Now, if this is true, what comes next is supposed to be what? It's supposed to be true. If it's false, then the conditional is what? That again made perfectly good sense to me. All right. That makes perfectly good sense. All right. And this, like I said, was always something I fought with my teachers always about, my college teachers actually, because there isn't, in my opinion, a great explanation. I've heard some of you explain it. I can see your reasoning. But again, I don't like the fact that if you start out with false statement, the conditional is automatically true. So everybody agree with that? All right. So now I would like someone to talk to me about the rule for biconditional. All right. I don't want to say what the rule is. I would like for you to figure it out. So if you forget, you can come back to your notes and say, Whit, what?
It's if and only.
Yep, that's exactly what a biconditional. So when is a biconditional true? That's what I'm asking. When is a biconditional statement true? Tell him. So look at my chart. You're right, that is true. The conditional and the converse. In order for it to be a biconditional statement, in order to be able to write it as a biconditional statement, the conditional and the converse must be true. Exactly what you said is true. But looking at my chart, what am I trying to tell you?
P is true if and only if Q is true.
What are you thinking?
Yes. Oh, I was just gonna say basically like if the second, if Q is true, P has to be true.
But look, I think I'm not being clear. I'm looking here. I need someone to tell me how I know they're true or false. Tell me.
Either it has to be both true or both false.
That's what I'm trying to say. All right. That's what you have to observe, right? So when you forget something, that's why I say this chart is the key to success. Is everybody hearing me? The reason it's the key to the success is because I want everyone to be able to say, okay, if P and Q are both true, then the biconditional must be what? True, right? If the biconditional, if P and Q are both false, then it's true. Okay. All right. Now I don't want to analyze it right now. All right. Because we could go round in circles and spin our wheels discussing that. All right. I always tell people, someone who is smarter than me came up with the rules of logic. All right. These are the these are the rules you have to play the game by. All right. And so we know in a biconditional statement, if both P and Q are true or both P and Q are what, then it's automatically what? Other than that, it's what? False. That's the game. All right. That's what you have to do. All right. So again, very easy, very easy. This is what we're going to be working out of. And if you can refer back to this, if you can't remember that, you just have to do enough of them before you figure it out. All right. Now, I found this. So what we want to do now is I want to just briefly describe for you, right? We've only done 2, but it is possible to do what? 3. All right. So let's talk about P, Q, and R. The statements can either be what? True or false, correct? So if you have 3 statements, and this is just helping you with a little bit of math. If you have 3 statements, each statement has how many options? 2. 2, 2. Fundamental counting principle says we would have then how many outcomes? 8. There would be 8 outcomes. Now let me show you the 8 outcomes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So all we're doing is we're listing all the possible outcomes for all 8. Now, if you're not very good at writing out patterns, this would be difficult. All right. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to do that? Well, the pattern is really easy. But if you're doing 3 statements, you're going to have to be able to do this. All right. Now, everybody should be able to look at the pattern. And once I saw the pattern, I just didn't have to think about it anymore. The first 4 are going to be what? And then the next is what? Then we do it by groups of 2. And then we just what? Alternate. All right. And that gives all 8 possibilities. All right. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to just give you this table or if I want you to be able to remember that. And personally, I just don't think it's that difficult to remember. It's trues and then falses, 2 trues, 2 falses, 2 trues, 2 false, and they alternate. And that's how you set everything up. All right. Now, what I want to do now is I want to see how good you are, and I want to see if this makes sense, filling in this truth table. All right. So this right here, this piece of the puzzle right here is what? Given. That's the way you started out. All right. Then you go on and you try to figure out the truth table for this information. All right. Now, what exactly does that say? Let's start out with this. All right. Let's start out with, what does this say? So right here, it says what?
P or Q.
P or Q. And this says, then, right. If P or Q is true, then what? Not R. That's what that's saying. All right. That's the statement there. And if we had the statements for P or Q, it might help, but do the statements really matter? No, we've already said the statements don't matter, because if the statement is false, or we talked about it, right, it just depends. All right. So the statements don't matter. It's the symbols that are mattering. All right. So if I have here, if I'm trying to figure this out, all right, I don't really like the order here, but I'll show you how I prefer, but this was just a good worksheet, so I just copied it. So right here, if I said not R, all right, I want someone, all right, I'm looking at not R here. Uh-oh, let me get rid of this. If I have not R, my question is, what goes in this column? Tell me.
It would be false, true, false, true, false, true.
That's it. That's how easy. All right. Everybody should look at that and say, this is just, this is just false, true, false, true, false, true, false, true. Everybody agree with that? Anybody have any issues? All right. Now, if I've done a really good job, people will now be able to tell me about this column. All right. Go.
True, 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 false.
So you're saying 7 truths and 1 false.
I don't know if I actually said 7 truths.
But does everybody see that? Because I would want you to say it's an or statement. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Now, what columns are we looking at?
P, Q,
P and Q, right?
Q.
Well, wait a minute. I'm not saying she's wrong. I'm just saying, please look, this is what we're doing. This is an or statement, correct? So all we're doing is we're looking at these 2 statements right here, right? And all we need is what? 1 true,
It's 6.
right? So she's now correcting herself and saying that indeed there are what? These would be all truths right here. And then this would be false. So everybody see, it looks complicated, but it's really simple if you know the rules. All right. Now, look what we're doing here, guys. This is the key. This is why I would have put, I think they should have put this first, right? Because you have to look at this guy here, and then you're looking at this column here, right? So again, does everybody see why I think they put it out of order here, correct? Right, so you want to look at this column now right here. And you're looking at then directly over here, right? And this is an if then, right? Conditional. And what did we say? In order for it to be false, it has to be what? True, then a what? True, false creates a what?
True.
True, false creates a what? Creates a false. Shh, 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 shh. What?
I don't get that right there.
Stop. What don't you get?
The true false equals false.
Then you don't understand the table up here. Right?
No, which one are we looking at?
the conditional. No.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying now, right? Now, look, guys, I'm trying to be a little critical, but I'm trying to get you to be observant, right? We already discussed this. This right here is this right here. This is this right here. We're going to use those true and falses to figure out if this is true or false. Does everybody agree with that? So I'm looking at the first column and I'm saying to myself, I know that if it goes true to false, it's what? False. Anything else is what? Anything else is true. All right. So I'm looking true, false. What is that? Man, you guys, before you speak, think. I just said true to false is a what? False. True to false is a what? False. This is false. The next one. True. The next one. The next one. The next one. The next one. Next. Yeah, it's tricky, right? False to false is a what? True. False to true. Still true. All right. What?
We did one true to false is false. Oh, never. Wait,
Shh, shh, shh.
I meant to say true to false is true. It's like the fourth one down.
1, 2, 3, 4.
But true to false is false.
But that's not true, it's when you're-
My bad.
And you see, if you put a false in the wrong spot, it messes everything up. Do you agree? Right? It's possible you can put it a wrong answer and still get a right answer. Does everybody agree with that? It's possible. All right. So now what does this actually mean? That actually means that if all three of the statements are true, then this right here becomes what? False. If the first two are true and the second one is false, then your statement is what? And so on and so forth. Does everybody agree with that? All right. Now, I'm trying to see, notice their table. All right, so there we just did the answer. All right, that's all. All right, so that was the answer. All right, which agreed, hopefully you're agreeing that's just not, it wasn't that bad. All right, now let's go on to the next example. All right. Okay, so here we go. What is a tautology? All right, a tautology is when you construct a truth table and it's always what? True. If all of your final statements work out to be true, it is considered a tautology. All right. Is that example right there a tautology?
No.
No. All right, that's all. All right, that's all you're looking at. So now you know the definition, tautology. All right. If the final column in the truth table is all true, then it is considered a tautology. It's always true, regardless. All right. Of the value of P and Q. And here, I almost whited these out, but I just wanted to show you, an example. So if we did the truth table here, the final value comes out to be what? All truths. So because it's all true, it doesn't matter what statements are, it's always going to be what? It's always going to be true, and it's a tautology. Does everybody agree with that now? All right, so now let's get to the truth. Okay, so now it's doing this now. All right, so occasionally, I mean, they're going to ask you to determine the truth value for each statement when P is what?
True.
When P is true and Q is what? And R is what? So now I'm going to look at this guy right here. All right, we'll just do it together. So P is true, Q is false, right? So I'm gonna grab this and put it over here closer, because I think it's just easier. All right, and you don't have to write this down. I just want you to kind of watch my logic here, paste over here out of the way. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put in the true and the false, right? So Q we said was what? False. So then not Q would be what? True. And then P is what? True. So I'm going to leave it like this. This, what's R? And not P is false. Do we agree with that? So if, oh man, what did I say P for? What is P supposed to be here? True. Okay. So now I have this. If true, then true. What is that? True, right? Everybody's good? This is a what statement? Or false and false. False. True or false. Oh, that's just super easy. Everybody see? I mean, it looks complicated, right? People will look at you like you're crazy when you're doing this. All right, but it's not difficult if you know what? If you know the rules up here. All right, these are the rules of logic. And I tell every year I try to teach kids, this is someone who's made up the rules, that knows more about math than me and logic than I do, and I follow the rules. All right, and you become more logical. All right, so with that being said, let's go down now and let's try something on our own. All right, construct a truth table. All right, for the given statement. And how many statements are there here? 2, right? Meaning statements are the P's, the Q's, R's. And we had to do it once with 4 statements. So you can imagine there were 16 possibilities. All right. So it can be complicated. All right. But we'll stick with 2, maybe a 3 for extra credit, maybe. But what I'm saying is how many statements are here? 2. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to construct our first truth table. All right. So here we go. Now, for our truth table, right, we have now we have P and Q, right? And then down here, there's how many columns? I don't think there's 8. There's how many actually?
4.
Do we agree 4? Right, because there's only what? Because there's only 2, right? All right. Oh, come on. And then what I think you should do is if you make yourself a decent column, then you could just copy and paste it. All right. So now P, all right, what was the pattern for this? True, true, false, false. And then what? True, false, true, false. Did I agree with that?
No. How did we get those?
Those are all the combinations of true and false. 2 statements can be true. It can be true, false. It can be false, true, or it can be false, false.
Okay.
That is what you begin with. That's always the beginning. Everybody with me on that?
Yeah.
All right. Now, do I have any nots here? Negations?
No.
No. So the first one is what I like to do here is I like to put down what's my first column going to be? P or Q. Exactly. All right. So P or Q. So someone help me. Go ahead. True, 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 false. Now remember, I keep trying to tell you guys, You can't just write my information. If you don't know that, then ask. Anybody have any questions with that? You good? Yes, ma'am.
I thought earlier you said when we were doing like this one, I thought you said. true to false.
Okay, listen to me. You're right. So listen, watch. I'm doing them individually first, kiddo. So what I'm showing you is I have to do this, right?
Yeah.
Then I have to do what? This one, and then I'm doing this one. You with me? I'm not looking here first, right? Because I got to make the comparison here and the comparison here, and then I have to do that.
Okay.
You with me on that? All right. So now my next column is what? P and Q, correct? All right, so now I'm doing that. All right, so I need help with P and Q. Come on, boys, go.
True. True, false, false, false.
Yeah, look how nice that is. Very good. Okay. I'm gonna extend this a little bit. Extend this a little bit. Now you understand what I was saying, right, KK?
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
And now our final one is, and I'm gonna make it bigger just so everybody can see. Is, I'm just gonna be really lazy. You can be lazy too, guys. I'm gonna do this, cut this, paste it right here, because that's alt, oh man. That's true. You have no idea. All right, that goes there. Does everybody see that? Hold on one second. Those guys are asking me a question. I'll get right with you. I'm fixing mine. So it looks good. Vertical line here. All right. Now everyone try to fill in the last statement for me. Oh, come on. All right, well, forget it then. Okay, so for my last statement, does everybody understand now? I'm trying to show you that you would be talking about this statement and you would be talking about this statement right here and here combined with conditional. All right, boys, someone else. Tell me what I got. Benji. Say it again. True, false, false, true. There you have it. That wasn't bad, right? No. Now, does everybody understand what I'm saying about how annoying if I had to keep writing the truth table, correct? That's why I like the iPads. That's why I let you do it on the iPads. Because now what you can do is just come over here and grab this if you want. And you can duplicate it, bring it down here. And now what you can do is you can just come over here and erase all this information. And start over. All right, so let's practice this one. And then, of course, I really am trying to stress for some of you guys, right? Oh, man. That's just not gonna work. So you might want to avoid, right, depending upon how lazy you're being, you might want to copy one and put it down below, right? Yeah, there's all kinds of problems. PQ, it's mostly P and Q. Do you agree with that? Right, so if it's mostly P and Q, you can just copy like from here, duplicate and roll it down, duplicate, put it down here, duplicate. There. Okay, now notice, I don't think it's hard right here. Does everybody see on number 6 where the pattern right? I want you to say the pattern to yourself, right? For number 6, it's P, Q, and R. Do we agree? Right, okay, so let's see if we can do, oh, I'm sorry, someone who raised their hand. Did may have a question with no good with.
I get confused. How, like, which, tables do you use to find the, like, P and Q? Cause I get confused.
Okay, so listen, to me, I want you to think logically. If I say this and this, both of them have, if it's an and statement, both of them have to be true. But listen, let's say you don't know that. That's why I want you to understand. Up here was the key to success, right? It's telling you if you have an and statement, this is an and statement. In order for it to be true, both have to be true.
Oh, from the first.
Yeah, from P and Q, we're always looking, right? P or Q, right? Then only one of them has to be true. And then the conditional and then the biconditional. You with me on this?
Yeah.
All right. So if we know that, let's see how good you are. All right, let's look at number 2. Come on, guys. Now here, it's kind of annoying. So what I want to do is I want to slide this over a little bit, right? And then what goes first? If P, then Q. So what's the truth value of if P, then Q? True, false, true, true. That's not hard, correct? And then the next one we're doing is what? Not P. Not P is what?
Opposite.
Which is false, false, true, true. Does everybody agree with that? And now the last one is a combination. Copy, paste the image, but I'll make it smaller. So crop it. Oh, come on. What is up with this? Okay, maybe. There we go. All right. Now, what I'm trying to demonstrate here is that, do we agree? I'm looking at this, right? That's why I like to put it in order. So my eyes can see I'm looking from here to here. Do we agree? So this is a what kind of statement? And, right? So they both have to be what? They both have to be true. So false, false, true, true. Everybody good with that? All right, I think I'm good. Let's do 3. All right, now for 3, I need what? The biconditional, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put Q if and only if P. So what do I have there? Now, if you forgot the rules, don't ask me what the rules are. Go back to your notes, flip up to the first page, and go to biconditional and figure out when the biconditional is true. Right? That's what you're supposed to do if you forget. All right? Now, what do we say is true about the biconditional? Both true or both false. How's that? That's just easy. All right. Memory work. All right. So it goes what? True, false, false, true. And then I have the negation of that, not P if and only if Q. So now I have what? False, true, true, false. Come on, guys. I just don't think that's that hard. Right? I don't think it's that hard. Does everybody agree? But once again, you have to know the rules. All right, we have to know the rules. All right, so I'm thinking I'm gonna let you do. We should just knock this. Oh, number 8 looks so much fun.
No.
How much time do we have? What time is the bell ring? Now we're not doing long service today. We're just meeting in second period for chapel, believe it or not, because the air's not working, so. Yeah. No, listen, just listen. I didn't say. You guys, come on, let me just hear. We have 7 minutes is what you're telling me, right, till the bell rings?
Yeah.
All right, so we have chapel instead of long service, right? We're staying in our second period class, I think. All right. So we're not going to have long chapel. We're just going to have regular Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday schedule is today. All right. No long service. And we're just staying in after your second period, you're staying in there. Then you guys can come down here and have snack after that or whenever snack is. All right. So now let's get back to, because we have 7 minutes, I really and truly want you guys to try to knock this out. All right. But however, listen, tomorrow I'm going to do what? I'm going to go over all of it. All right. Now, again, I think I did a good job explaining it. I know some people it's difficult. I don't mind. All right. But I'm trying to make sure everybody understands. Does everybody understand what I'm saying now? Like, this is the key to success is the very first thing, right? That has the rules. If you can follow rules, you can follow the logic. All right. Very good. Try to do the rest of it. Try to do the rest of it. Right here. Because it's not if and only if P and Q. So I'm looking at this column. I'm looking at this column and doing the opposite. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Again, good work, guys. Please don't waste time. Help each other out if you're not sure about something. All right.